Who would be on the Mount Rushmore of Mortal Kombat? That's a question I bet 90% of you hear and go, oh, that's easy, are you kidding me? But then, take a moment to really think about it. Pick 4 characters who are Mortal Kombat.
Well, I mean, obviously you gotta pick Scorpion, and then there's... No, that's 5. Obviously you have to have... But then what about...
It's harder than you think it is. But I have taken on the task and come up with my personal Mount Rushmore of Mortal Kombat. Make sure that you are following, or else I will have to eat this cookie. Number 1, Scorpion, because of course he's the first one. Is this even a question? He is the poster boy of the series. The 3 games where he was up front and center were the best-selling ones in the franchise. Get over here! It is one of the most iconic phrases, not just from Mortal Kombat, not just from video games, but in all of American pop culture. Scorpion ripping off his mask and revealing a flame-spitting skull is what helped propel Mortal Kombat into the public zeitgeist. Scorpion has made it onto pretty much every top 10 fighting game characters list ever created. Hell, just playing this sound effect is often enough to get people to stop and watch a video. Mortal Kombat, as a billion-dollar franchise, was built on this motherfucker's back. So yeah, Scorpion is the first face on the mountain. Number 2, Shang Tsung, the first and probably greatest villain in the MK series. His shape-shifting and soul-stealing moveset is legendary and makes him a standout character in a series full of standout characters. And we can't talk about Shang without bringing up "Your soul is mine," one of the biggest memes and most well-known quotes from Mortal Kombat, and that obviously came from Shang.
Your soul is mine.
Plus, Cary Hideyoki Tagawa's portrayal of him in the 1992 movie made that movie go from good to a certified cult classic. Shang Tsung is probably the greatest villain in Mortal Kombat, and without a doubt, one of the greatest villains in the history of fighting games as a whole. I have no reservations about him being the second face on the mountain. Now, time for what's probably going to end up being the most controversial pick on this list. Number 3, Johnny Cage. And I'm not just saying this because he's my favorite. Johnny Cage is one of the most iconic, beloved, and well-known characters in the series. The sunglasses, the split punch, the shadow kick. So much of Johnny is, again, iconic, and something that even people outside the MK bubble know and recognize. Johnny Cage is such a staple that every Mortal Kombat movie that has come out that didn't have him in it was an active point against it. See, MK 1995 versus MK Annihilation. And hell, what was the biggest critique that people had of the 2021 movie? As well as the biggest thing that people are looking forward to in the next one? The lack and addition of Johnny Cage. Plus, Johnny is the guy, besides Scorpion, who has reached the furthest outside of the Mortal Kombat sphere and brought eyes to the series. The International Love meme did a better job of marketing MK1 than the frickin' marketing department did. He may just be a white guy in sunglasses, but Johnny Cage 100% deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore of Mortal Kombat. And before we get to the final face, let's go down the list of honorable mentions. Shao Kahn. This one was probably the hardest one for me to cut personally. Shao is an icon, but Shang makes the most sense for this position. Kitana! She was the first Lady Ninja, with Melina and Jade being literal and metaphorical clones of her. However, among this very short list, she just doesn't make the cut. Goro! This one is mostly on here because I like him, but yeah, Goro does not quite belong. Sub-Zero! The only character in the history of the franchise to have never missed a game. From Mortal Kombat 1 all the way to Mortal Kombat 1. But if we were going to pick one Mortal Kombat ninja to put on this mountain, it had to be Scorpion. And do not get me wrong, I considered bookending this mountain with ninjas, and the final runner-up, Raiden. One of these true standout characters in the series, he was one of the original faces of the franchise. However, on this list that is so limited, and against the competition that is so stiff, if there were 5 faces, Mount Rushmore was 5 guys, he would be on it. But as we are the final face of the Mortal Kombat Mount Rushmore, you probably know who it is, because it has to be Liu Kang. He is the main character of Mortal Kombat. He's the god of the new universe. Every plot point, except for Deception Armageddon, revolves around this guy. He is one of the, if not the original, and probably the best of the Bruce Lee archetypes. Every single point that you could make for why somebody deserves to be on the Mortal Kombat Mount Rushmore, Liu Kang checks off. His place in the story, he's been around since the beginning, his moveset is exemplary. He has probably the most recognizable fatality in the series. Liu Kang has to be the final face on this mountain and I don't think that anybody can really refute me there. But feel free to try. Who would you put on your Mount Rushmore of Mortal Kombat? Let me know.